Okay, I'd like to call the Human Resources Committee agenda to order and ask for anybody to declare pecuniary interest either now if it arises down the agenda. Hearing none, action items.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this morning we're presenting a staff report on professional consulting services for our job evaluation and software project. So if you may recall, the committee submitted a recommendation March 3rd, 2016 to undertake an RFP process to contract services for a non-union job evaluation process in compliance with pay equity legislation, conduct a salary market review and/or purchase and/or access software that will automate job information questionnaire, job descriptions, and the job evaluation process. So we did end up issuing the RFP, and we broke it into two parts. Part A being the non-union job evaluation plan, pay equity maintenance and market reviews, so the consulting services, and Part B, the software for the job information questionnaires, job descriptions, and job evaluations software. There were a total of 18 consulting firms that indicated interest in the project. However, only 4 submissions were received. So the submissions were reviewed by 4 designated staff members, and those staff members were the members of the Job Evaluation Committee. And so as part of that review, the evaluation team recommends the award of Part A, the consulting project, to McDowell Associates. The proposal presented by McDowell exhibits an understanding of the county's job evaluation and market review requirements, provides for pay equity compliance, and represents the best value for the county. The evaluation team recommends the award of Part B of the project, access to software supported with consulting for software implementation and training purposes, to MNP LLP. NMP has an ongoing working relationship with the software provider Encompassing Vision Software System and will provide implementation and training in order to successfully implement the software product. The software was demonstrated and is robust. It includes the elements outlined in the RFP, specifically the JICs, the JDs, and job evaluation. Further, the software has a robust database and is intuitive that will assist in reducing staff time in the time-consuming process of collecting JIC information. It will also result in the automation of job descriptions, interview questionnaires, and job postings. The Encompassing Vision software also interfaces with the county's HRIS system, Avante. McDowell Associates have agreed to work with the information required utilizing this software. So the proposal set out the financial impact, Part A, is $54,000 plus $350 per hour for and expenses to conduct the job evaluation appeals, kickoff meetings, and employee communication sessions. And Part B, the software, is $42,600 plus $17,000 in consulting fees, and the ongoing maintenance fees of approximately $8,900, which represent 21% of the cost of the product. So the staff recommendation is that the Human Resources Department be provided direction to contract professional consulting services for the undertaking of job evaluation, pay equity, and market review to McDowell Consulting, Part A. Further, that the Human Resources Department be provided direction to contract for HR software supported with consulting services to implement the software to MNP LLP, Part B.
You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Mike, second by Dave. Discussions? Milt?
Yeah, just a question. How come we don't include the dollar value in our recommendations? Like, is that why is that, I wonder? I know it's attached to the report, but you have to go through the report to find out this information.
Yeah. Through you, Mr. Warden, that is a miss on my part. It should have been caught. It should be in the recommendation.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
So we will add that to the recommendation. Paul?
So these estimates were in the 2016 budget.
Through you, Chair. Yes, we did have money in the budget, however, not to the extent of the actual RFP proposals received.
The other thing that you have an hourly rate there, but there's no, that's pretty open-ended. They could chalk up hundreds of hours, and we have no control over that.
Through you, Chair. As part of the job pay equity process, staff are allowed to appeal, and so it's really hard to estimate at this point in time how many of those appeals will come through. Historically, the majority of staff members have appealed in the non-union, but that was early 1990s when job evaluation and pay equity was first introduced. So we're hoping through this process that we can reduce that to a more manageable number.
Kelly, did you have anything to add? No. Other comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, if any? That is carried. Thank you. Yeah. Mike and Dave. But thank you. All right.
Okay, so the second report is provided for information. And the report is the actuarial evaluation for the WSIB liabilities as of December 31, 2014. So Susan Petrick has also joined us in case there's any financially related questions that I can't respond to. So thank you, Susan. So the country undertakes this study with an external actuarial every 3 years to meet the county's financial reporting requirements under the Public Sector Accounting Board recommendations for local government. Nexus Actuarial Consultants Limited were engaged to complete the evaluation of the county's WSIB actuarial liabilities at December 31, 2014 for future payments under WSIB claims occurring on or before December 31, 2014. Complete an estimation of the expected costs and payments for 2015, 16, and 17, and a calculation of the actuarial updates to December 31, 2015, 16, and 17. There are a number of assumptions that are undertaken as outlined in the report. The review identified that the county's experience is on an upward trend, and the estimates of new lost time injury counts increased from 12 in 2012 to 14 in 2015. The estimated cost of the 2015 new injuries is 1.09% of the estimated 2015 gross payroll of $34.1 million. As a Schedule II employer, the county established a WSIB reserve and also carries catastrophic insurance. The balance of the reserve as of January 1, 2016 was $1.745422. Expenses included the operations of the health and safety function of the county, the reinsurance of payments to WSIB, as well as $475,000 to offset the operating budget as per the budget. Contributions are based on the WSIB rates at 2008 categories in conjunction with 2014 WSIB maximums. The totaling contributions in 2014 were $905,532. The review identified that the total WSIB liabilities for the same period totaled $1.845370 to reflect the surplus of $95,306. This reflects our position at 105% funded, which the consultant has suggested be reviewed. They suggest that further review be undertaken in future to determine the optimal time to increase the funding to the reserves at continuation of reinsurance. In 2012, it was suggested that our finding objective should be fully funded with an additional surplus to accommodate unexpected losses. This evaluation, the actuarial loss will be reported in the 2015 financial statements. Further examination is recommended in 2016 and 17 to provide further analysis to assess that the reserve is adequate as compared to liabilities. The purpose of this study is to meet the county's financial reporting requirements under the Public Sector Accounting Board recommendations for local government. The recommendation that the actuarial review County of Bruce WSIB liabilities as of December 31, 2014 report is for information.
Thank you, Marianne. Discussions? Milt?
Question to clarify for myself. So our reserves indicated 1.7 million, 45,000, and our liabilities are 1.8, right? 4.5.
Right.
So you're saying that's a surplus? That, to me, would be a deficit.
the liability as of the end of 2014 was actually overstated. So what they estimated in their previous assumptions, they estimated the liability at 450,000 higher than what it actually was when they went back and reassessed it. So the liability is decreasing. They're calling it a loss.
Can't hear you.
The li-
Yes, please.
Did you hear any of it, Mel?
I caught bits and pieces of it, yeah, just enough to be further confused, yeah.
So in their previous actuarial report, they estimated that our liability at the end of 2014 was going to be 1.8. When they reassessed it during this actuarial, they had overstated the liability by 408,000. So the liability was reduced at the end of 2014.
So the liability was reduced, okay. All right. So does it make it $95,000 surplus?
Does it make it a $95,000? What you're looking at, the $95,000, is what our current reserve versus the liability, the variance
Yes.
between them.
Yep.
So right now, we are funding our liability by 105%, which means we're overfunded right now by $95,000. So the $95,000 surplus just says we have more in the reserve than what the expected cost of the WSIB liability is.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Well, yeah, I'll talk to you after. That's good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other comments, questions? So there's more information coming back in the fall is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we're going to assess the impact of the WSIB reserve because we're pulling more from it now than what we used to. So at the end of 2011, we were actually 144% funded in that liability, and we've dropped to 105. So with the 2017 budget, we'll take a look at where that's going to end up and assess if the WSIB premiums to departments should be more, or if the withdrawal from the reserve to cover operating, that $475,000, and the impact of it moving forward.
That was going to be my question. Is it sustainable? Because we're funding, I think, 2 positions out of the WSIB, are we not at this time? So that's maybe something that we're going to have to look at budget time.
Through you, Mr. Warden, one comment that I would make is the 2 positions are currently funded, so the assessment that has been made with the 105%, it is including those
Okay.
2 positions.
Okay.
But the point of any future wage settlements, et cetera, will have to be part of that calculation that Susan has referred to.
Okay. Other comments? Okay. Next meeting is August the 4th. Do I have a mover and seconder for adjournment? Robert? Milt. All those in favor? Opposed, that's carried. Thank you.